We know that the Parsha of the week always speaks to current events. Before we get to the Haftorah that ties into current events, the Parsha of the week, Vayikra-4. Vayikra-4, very strange that little children begin studying the Chumash with the book of Vayikra, which is very strange. It's all about, that's why there's a small aleph in Vayikra, because little people begin with Vayikra. So there's a small aleph there. Strange that small children begin with Vayikra, all about sacrifices. You want the little kids to have nightmares. Why do you begin teaching little kids the book of Vayikra? And that's why there's a small aleph there for little people. Of all the books in the Bible, Sam, you know, the kids might have nightmares. So to answer this question, we have to look at Leviticus 4, Pasuk 24. Leviticus 4, Pasuk 24. Of why little people begin learning Vayikra, and what has it got to do with today's headlines, Nachama? So if you don't have a book, you look in with your neighbor. Leviticus 4:24 says, "V'samach yodai arosh ha'sa'ir v'shachat oisem v'kom yishchat olah." That in the temple, 161. Thank you. Verse 24. In the temple courtyard, they shechted the animals in different parts of the temple courtyard. Verse 24 says that in the same place that you shecht an olah, you shecht a chatas. Thank you very much. I need to know that for the year 2016, we haven't had a sin offering, we haven't had a burnt offering for 1948 years. The Torah says in verse 24, in the same place in the temple courtyard where you shecht the olah, you shecht the chatas. Okay? And look at Sam, verse 29, it's repeated again. You shall put his hands on the head of the chatas, v'shachat et ha-chatas b'mkom ha'olah. Again, the Kohen has to slaughter the sin offering in the same place in the temple courtyard where you slaughter the burnt offering. So he told me that once, he told me that twice, going once, going twice, and Leviticus 4, Pasuk 33, play it again, Sam. You see that? Leviticus 4, verse 33, he shall put his hands on the head of the chatas, and again, he shall slaughter the chatas in the same place in the courtyard where you slaughter what? The olah. Chanoch, I'm not hard of hearing. Why repeat it for little kids yet? We ain't got no sin offerings. We ain't got no guilt offerings today. We ain't got no burnt offerings. So the Torah repeats again. Shech the chatas in the same place in the temple courtyard where you shech the olah.
It's preparation.
What's the message?
It's important.
Very important. But why? Fasten your seatbelts. And what does it got to do with current events? We know who brought a sin offering? A sinner. A lowlife. A burnt offering was brought by a goody two-shoes. Now, in the temple courtyard, those that brought a peace offering, those that brought the shlamim, there were different stations where you slaughtered different animals. The Torah says, in the same on-deck circle, where you bring a sin offering, you can bring a shecht and olah there too. What's the Torah teaching me? If there'd be an on-deck circle just for sinners.
Because you don't want to embarrass them.
Beautiful. Shame on you. I know what you did last night. You're on the on-deck circle marked sinners only.
That's good.
So the Torah covers up in the same on-deck circle where the sinner brings a sin offering. A goody two-shoes brings a burnt offering. It's the same type of offering. The Torah is covering up. Don't shame even the sinner. What a powerful message. A sin offering is brought by a sinner. There'd be an on-deck circle, sinners only. Shame on you. I know what you did last night. So the Torah covers up in the same station in this temple courtyard where they brought sin offerings, they also bring peace offerings. So I might think that the guy is not bringing a sin offering, the same type of animal. He's bringing a peace offering. What is Judaism all about? not to shame anybody, not even the sinner. The first lesson we teach little kids. Judaism is sensitivity to the other. You don't shame any person, not even a sinner. So the Torah covers up for him and says in the same place where the sinner brings a sin offering, a goody two-shoes brings a burnt offering. So no one should know who the sinner is. Maybe he's a goody two-shoes bringing what? A burnt offering. What a message. From the get-go, little kids learn that. Judaism is sensitivity not to shame any Jew, not even a sinner. And what's the message for the week? The ladies at the kotel who were reading the Torah, they were doing wrong, but people were yelling and shaming them. Two wrongs don't make a right.
That's right.
They didn't learn the Parsha. Those Haredi men and ladies yelling at these ladies were not doing the Parsha of the week. And the Torah says you're not allowed to shame anybody, not even a sinner. They're doing wrong. That doesn't give you a right to shame them in public. Speak to them privately, lovingly, but to yell and scream in public, that's worse than what the ladies on the wall are doing.
Wow.
What a message, Elisheva. The same week where they were yelling at the women of the wall, the Torah goes out of her way 3 times, not once.
I heard it from
3 times, Abraham, in the same place where Yeshech the Ola, Yeshech the Chatas. Why repeat it 3 times? I'm not hard of hearing. No. And little kids, that's the first message, Avi. That's what they learn. Not to shame no Yid, not even a choteh.
That's good.
To be sensitive to his feelings. We don't want to expose he's a sinner. We make believe that he's bringing what? A burnt offering. Same place. Powerful message. What?
So you have the women of the wall that are the trigger.
Excuse me, would you mind getting a little water? Thank you. What?
You have the women of the wall.
They doing wrong, but shaming them in public is even worse.
Yeah.
That's the message of the Parsha. Repeated 3 times. Same place, Yeshech the Ola, Shech the Chatos. Same place where Yeshech the Chatos, Shech the Ola. And again, the same place where Yeshech the Chatos, Shech the Ola. What a message. Kawinky Dinky, Parsha of the week always speaks to what?
This is why we lost the first temple. We're not
Sinat Chinam, right? They're doing wrong, but by shaming them in public, you're doing worse.
right.
All right? So again, the Parsha ties in. One is enough, thank you. One is enough, thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyeh b'dvaroi. Toda, I got to wet my whistle. Now I can sing. Now I can sing. Powerful. Kawinky Dinky, Parsha of the week. Now let's get to the Haftorah, which is even more current events. The Haftorah, I don't know, in the Birnbaum Chumash, it's Vayikra-Zachor. It's the Haftorah of Vayikra-Zachor. Now, I hope it's...
Page 434.
Page 434, the special reading, Vayikra-Zachor. Vayikra-Zachor. The special Haftorah reading, this is Shabbos Vayikra-Zachor. So we read from the book of Samuel. Ripped from today's headlines. Shmuel chapter 15. Right? So the Parsha says, destroy Amalek. The Maftir reading the Chama, destroy Amalek. And the Haftorah follows up on that, where Shmuel tells Shaul. See that? Chapter 15, Hashem sent me to anoint you as king over his people. Hear the word of Hashem. And Pasuk 2, so said Hashem, master of legions, I remembered what Amalek did. Right? He terrorized you, the first terror attack in history. Now go strike down Amalek and destroy him. And look at Pasuk 3. V'lo tachmoil olav. Nechama, what does that mean? V'lo tachmoil olav. Don't show any pity for terrorists. V'lo tachmoil olav. You have that, Elisha, in English?
I'm trying to...
Verse 3.
435 on the top.
435 on the top. Don't show any pity for terrorists.
Kill both man
Hello?
and woman.
The chief of the IDF should learn this Haftorah, buddy. The chief of the IDF.
He has a lot to learn.
He has a lot to learn. V'loi tachmol olav. Show them no pity.
Wow.
Oh, and kill. It's not PC. And kill out men and women, infant and babies. Destroy them all. It's not PC.
Can you explain?
1 minute, buddy. Pasuk 5. Now let's see if the English is right. Pasuk 5, Elisheva. Saul came to the city of Amalek and he fought in the valley. The Hebrew says, Vayova Shaul at Ir Amalek, Vayorev banachal. And the word Yorev, who the root is Riv. You know Hebrew? Riv means he argued. Nechama. Vayorev banachal, he argued with God in the valley. The word Riv, the root is Riv, means to argue, modern Hebrew. So Gemara in Yuma, page 22 says, he argued with God. How can I kill all of these innocent terrorists? It's not right to kill innocent terrorists.
The argument is they're not all like that.
That's what he said. Some of them are innocent. What do you want from the women and the children?
Can you explain why?
And the Vayorev, he argued with God. It's not PC, God, to do that. Yuma, page 22. And God told him, Koheles alti tzadik harbeh. Don't be more religious than God. Don't be more religious than God. You're fired.
Now you
You're fired, Saul.
Can you explain, well, we understand about killing even the child because they'll grow up to be adults, why the ox, the sheep, the camel?
But the Torah says that the name of Amalek should not be mentioned, that this Mr. Ed, this donkey belonged to Amalek. To eradicate his name. If you're going to leave the dog alive, you say, this dog once belonged to whom? Amalek. Don't you dare mention Amalek. But Saul had a problem. A legitimate problem, it looks like. Why? Vayorev, he argued, the word Riv. He argued with God. Gemara in Yuma 22, the Chanoch says, he argued with God, how can I kill innocent women and children? And God told him a pasuk in Kohelet, Al tehid tzadik harbeh. What does that mean, Avi? Don't be more righteous than God. And because he argued like that, God said, you're fired. Who said that? Hashem.
Wow,
Before Trump. Lahavdil. You're fired.
Listen to what Yaakov has in
You're fired.
Listen to what Yaakov has in Rashi.
Rashi's comment on verse 3
Yes.
is that they were sorcerers
Yeah.
and they would change themselves to resemble animals.
Right. But I'm not talking about it. He just didn't want to kill the women and children either. He said, I'll kill the terrorists. Why kill baby terrorists? Maybe they won't grow up to be terrorists. We'll give them a college education and they won't murder us.
That didn't work.
And maybe the women won't stab us with a knife, with scissors. We'll talk to them. We'll calm them down. Right? Put the knife down, sweetheart. Don't stab me.
But he ended up killing all the women.
1 minute. He didn't want to do it, and therefore God said, you're fired. I have a bomb kasha on this.
That's right.
A bomb kasha. Centuries earlier, who else argued with God? Father Abraham. God came to Abraham, I'm going to destroy the city of what? Of Sodom, men, women, and children. And Abraham argued, Chalila lacha. How dare you kill innocent people? And God did not fire him. He gave him a medal. Shelley, we have a steerer here. How do you say steerer? You hear the problem?
He got permission from God.
1 minute.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Why, when God told Abraham, I want to destroy every man, woman, and child in Sodom, he gave God a hard time? How dare you do that? It's not right. Shall the judge of all the earth not do justice? Did God fire him? He gave him a medal. And here, Saul seems to be following in the footsteps of whom?
Abraham.
And he doesn't get a medal, Chanoch, he gets fired. You hear my question?
Right. Abraham.
Why?
Condition.
What?
He didn't say don't destroy them, but if we find 50 righteous people there,
That's right.
could you save them?
So who's more righteous than a child? This is a big question. Yehuda, help me here. So I have an answer. Rabbi Yaakov, understand the question? It's a big problem over here. Why did God fire Saul and he gave Abraham a medal? So I have an answer. You can take it or leave it. God comes to Abraham. He says, listen, I want to nuke Sodom. What do you say about it? Read the text. So Abraham is thinking, listen, God, you need my permission to nuke Sodom. Why are you asking me or even telling me? You don't need my permission to destroy Sodom. Why are you telling me? You're telling me you want my input. Well, then I'll tell you. I don't think it's right. Yeah. Evelyn. But here, God is giving him a direct command. Destroy Amalek. I'm not asking your opinion. I don't want your input. I'm giving you a direct command. Destroy Amalek. Yeah, Abraham? You see the difference?
Yeah.
There's a major difference there.
Yes.
Okay? So therefore, Abraham got a medal, and Shaul HaMelech was what? Was fired. But just amazing. Huh? And because Shaul showed mercy for terrorists,
we have them today.
What? That's right. Right? Someone who has pity on the wicked will be cruel to the righteous. You show compassion to the wicked terrorists, you're going to show cruelty to the righteous.
So why are we treating the terrorists and making them healthy so they can kill again?
Because they didn't read, the IDF chief didn't read this Haftorah. Perhaps this Shabbos L'cham he'll go to shul, and the IDF chief of staff will read this Haftorah. He'll say Chatasi, Yehuda.
Amen, amen.
No coinky dinky that we're reading. This is the Haftorah for the Parsha of the week. Right? So that's the difference. God didn't tell Abraham a direct command. And therefore, when God said, Abraham, take your son and kill him, why did Abraham not say anything? The words that he used by Sodom, Chalila Lecha, how dare you kill my innocent tzaddik? He didn't say anything. For the Sodomites, he's defending. To kill the tzaddik and the Rasha? When God says, take your own son and kill him, who's more righteous than my son Yitzchak? He doesn't say boo. Why? Command. You see, my teretz is good, Sam. I'm not asking your opinion. I'm telling you, take your son and kill him. I don't want your input. So Abraham couldn't say anything. By Sodom, he's asking for an opinion. Otherwise, why tell me? You don't need my permission.
And he didn't tell him to do it.
What?
God told him he's going to destroy them.
That's right. So that's the whole point. But here, I'm giving you a direct command. Take your son and kill him. I'm giving Saul a direct command. When you get a direct command, you have nothing to say. Right? That's the difference. What?
He didn't say kill him. He said,
What I said, he make him a burnt toast. He said, make him burnt toast, okay? Whatever. Make him an olah. The word olah means burn him up. Burn him up. So he couldn't say a thing because a direct command, you can't argue. When God gives you a direct command, then I'll teach tzaddik harbeh, right? And that was Saul's fatal mistake. Misplaced mercy. He thinks that he has more rahmanis than God. The innocent terrorist, we tell the terrorist girl, please don't stab me, please. I'll give you a lollipop and a high school diploma. Please don't stab me, right? It's insanity, right? God says destroy them or they'll destroy you. And whoever shows pity to the wicked will ultimately be cruel to the righteous. Okay? So, what happens? So he, before he does it, in Pasuk 6, he sends an email to the Canaanite. You see Pasuk 6? Saul said to the Canaanite, go withdraw, descend from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them, for you acted with kindness to the children of Israel when they went up from Egypt. Who are the Canaanites? They were the clan of Yisrael. For some reason, they were living among the Amalekites. I guess their rent was cheaper than Rechaviah. So they were living there, and Saul sends him a, what's it called, a WhatsApp? You better get out of here. I don't want to kill you, because you did chesed with the Jewish people when they left Egypt? What chesed did the Canaanite do, the Canaanite do when they left Egypt? What chesed? No, you're mixing apple. No, this is the children of Yisro. Jethro, the Kenite. One of the names of Yisro is what? Canaanite. What chesed did the Yisro do with the Jewish people? So if you look in Parshas Yisro, he took the rabbis out for lunch. It says he made a Suda for the Ziknei Yisrael. So because Yisro treated the rabbis to lunch, so hundreds of years later, that chesed will protect them, and they deserve to be protected, even though living among the Amalekites, that Shaul warns them to get out of here. I don't want to hurt you. You did a chesed. Your grandfather Yisro, in Parshas Yisro, made a Suda, and he invited all the Ziknei Yisrael. Avi, you remember that? So when you treat rabbis, you give them a hana, that's a chesed, that centuries later, Yisro's great-grandchildren deserve to be what? Spared, even though they were living among terrorists, Amalek. Okay?
So we say that all inhabitants of an evil society,
if you live with terrorists, then, you know.
even children.
Well, this is a special command that God gave, right? It's hard for us to understand. But God said, destroy them all. You see the verse? The verse back in Pasuk 3, no? Chanoch. Strike down Amalek, destroy everything, have no pity, kill man, women, infant and babies, ox and sheep. Very difficult command. And Shaul couldn't do it, and therefore he was fired. Okay? So anyway, if you read on, so he tries to make excuses. If he would have said chatasi, right? So in verse 13, see verse 13? Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, blessed are you to Hashem. I have fulfilled the word of Hashem. He tried to cover up. He said, I did exactly what Hashem told me to do. But he didn't. So Samuel said to him, what is the sound of the sheep in my ears and the sound of the cattle? And you also spared what? The king and other people you spared, right? So worse than the sin is to say what? I didn't sin.
Yeah.
Worse than the sin is the Watergate. Nixon wouldn't have been, if he would have admitted, but he covered it up. If Saul would admit it, say chatasi, like King David did, but no, he made it worse by lying, by trying to deceive the prophet and himself, saying that it's not a sin, right? So he makes more excuses. Verse 15, you see that, Yehuda? Shaul says to the prophet, I brought them from the Amalekite, for the people took pity. He passes the buck. It's not my fault. The people took pity on the best of the sheep and the cattle to bring them as korban to Hashem. Okay? So he passes the buck. The people, not me. Right? So verse 16, what does Samuel say to Saul? What? Stop. Listen. I'll tell you what Hashem has said. He said, speak. And verse 17. Now humility is a good trait, but the king of Israel can't be humble in front of his people. Look at verse 17. Samuel said, though you may be small in your own eyes, you are the head of the tribes of Israel, and Hashem has anointed you to be king over Israel. You let the people lead, right? Verse 18, Hashem sent you on the way, and he said, go destroy all of the terrorist Amalek and exterminate them. In verse 19, why did you not obey the voice of Hashem? You were afraid of the people. You want to humble yourself. A king can't have false humility. Otherwise, he can't be a king. So after all this rebuke, he continues to deny. Elisheva, Watergate 2. It's incredible. So instead of saying, you're right, chatasi, nachama, in verse 20, Shaul says to Samuel, but I did listen to Hashem. What's the matter with you? But I did listen to the voice of Hashem, like Nixon, lahavdil. I am not a crook. Did Nixon say that? I'm not a crook. But I did hear the voice of Hashem. And I did walk in the path of Hashem. I brought the Agag, the king of Amalek, and the people are destroyed, but he should have killed the king too. The people took the sheep and the cattle. Again, he's passing the buck to what? To the people. He says, I took the animals in order to bring a carbon to Hashem.
Here they got the English rifles.
What they say?
It says,
They rushed to grab the loot, and what was that he was saying? We rushed to grab the loot.
Rushed to grab the loot, and why did I leave the sheep and cattle? That I should be able to bring carbon to Hashem. Right? Right? So what does Samuel tell him? Does God delight in carbonot and offerings in obedience to the voice of Hashem? Behold, to obey is much better than what? To bring a sacrifice. Oh.
So, Rabbi,
yes.
without a spiritual response to evil,
Yeah.
is there any logical justification that could be made to destroy the whole society? Where those say, well, they're not all like that, therefore we have to...
That's exactly what Shaul said. They're not all like that. But when God gives you a direct command through a prophet, right, you have to do it. Otherwise, you're not fit to be the leader. The chief of the IDF can't do the job. Let him resign.
So this is a spiritual...
You can't do the job, right? We're going to talk about that soon. Who is Amalek today? We're going to talk about that. Stay tuned. But anyway, so what does he tell in verse 23, Elisheva?
he says,
Verse 23.
in 23, rebellion against him is as bad as witchcraft, and ignorance is as sinful as idolatry.
Ooh.
Because you rejected the Lord's command, he has rejected you as king.
Right?
Yeah.
If you worship your own intellect and you think you're smarter than God, that's a type of idolatry.
Yeah.
You're worshiping your intellect? You think you are more compassionate than Hashem? You think you're more merciful than Hashem? That is idolatry, the worst type, self-worship. So finally he wakes up. But, you know, it's too late now. Verse 24, he finally says what? Shaul said to Shmuel, I have sinned. I have transgressed the word of Hashem, of your God, for I feared the people. Right? And listen to them. But now, please forgive my sin, thank you, and return with me. So, Avram, why did God reject his tshuva? Sometimes it's too late.
Yes.
The Rambam says, sometimes it's too late now, it's too late. You have a chance to do tshuva, but after a while, sometimes God shuts the door, you miss the opportunity, and here, the Rambam explains that his tshuva was hollow. It wasn't sincere. He just didn't want to lose his day job.
Yeah.
You can confess all day, Chatosi, Avisi, Pashati, Sam, but if you don't mean it, it's worthless. So God knew that it's just, I think it's called in English, lip service.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't really mean it. So therefore, prophet, who's on God's channel, said, forget about it. You're just paying lip service. You don't mean it. You just don't want to lose your day job. Okay, so he tells him in verse 26, I will not return with you, for you have rejected the word of Hashem, and therefore God has what? Rejected you from being king over Israel. You hear?
Yeah.
Is it a punishment? See, God doesn't need to punish me or us. You are just not fit for the job. It's a nebuch on you and the people. It's not a good shidduch. Nechama, Yiddish Mickey. It's not a punishment. God doesn't need to punish us. It's just consequences. Whatever we do in life, Abraham has consequences. Whether positive or negative, it's not a punishment.
I don't understand verse 29.
I'm not there yet. You're up to 29. I'm only up to 28. Well, 27. Samuel turned away to leave, but Shaul grabbed his bekisha. His bekisha, his coat. You know, the long black coat that the Haredi rabbis wear. He grabbed the coat, and it tore. Aye. So Samuel said to him, Hashem has torn the kingship of Israel from you, and has given it to one better than you. Who's better than you? David. Now, verse 29. The Eternal One of Israel does not lie. Verse 29 in Hebrew. Huh? V'gam netzach Yisrael lo yishaker. Netzach Yisrael lo yishaker. There's a common name in Hebrew in the girls, Evelyn, called Neely. Where does it come from? Your daughter? Your daughter Neely. Kawinky dinky, Sam, that you're here. Oh, it's beautiful, Sam. Where does your daughter's name come from? Right? Did you know that? You did know that. Oh. Chavtes Netzach Yisrael Lo Yishaker. What is the FBI, CIA, IRS? Netzach Yisrael Lo Yishaker. What's the Rosh Tevot? Neely. The Eternal of Israel will not lie. God is called the Eternal of Israel. Netzach Yisrael Lo Yishaker. Rosh Tevot Neely. The Eternal of Israel will not lie. And he doesn't change his mind because he's not a human being. Right?
You want to hear another quick?
Because God knows that you're not fit for the job. Your tshuva is hollow and it's insincere. You can fool yourself, but you can't fool God. Saul was fooling himself. I really do want to do tshuva. I'll do better. But God knows that he's not fit for the job. Yes?
Another coincidence. Her full name is Neely Esther.
Neely Esther. Wow, that's incredible. Wow. The Neely Street.
When he says,
what?
God doesn't lie, but when we pray to him, he changes his mind. And God does change his mind. So
now Yehuda Lev asked the bomb kasha from Bombland. What? Lo yishake v'lo yinachem. Ki lo adam hu liyinachem. Yehuda Lev hit a home run. I think he stumped me. Because here in verse, let's look at the Hebrew. Here it says v'lo yinachem. God does, how do they translate that? God does not relent?
They just translated that he doesn't lie or change his mind.
He doesn't relent.
He doesn't change
Ki lo adam hu liyinachem. Because God is not human, that he should relent. But Yehuda Lev has to bomb kasha because this verse is contradicted. Sam, you fasten your seatbelts for this. You got to help me on this one. Yehuda hit a home run. Because a verse in the book of Genesis says just the opposite. Let's go to the book of Genesis. At least I know where to find it, okay? You look in the book of Genesis, take a look. And then we'll go to another place. But look in the book of Genesis. I'll tell you where to look. I'll tell you where to look. Genesis 6, verse 6. Good thing you have the Birnbaum Chumash. Let your fingers do the walking through Tanakh. Nechama. You hit a home run. I wasn't prepared for this one. Genesis 6, 6. Genesis 6, 6.
Page 8.
Vayinochem Hashem. Here it says that what? Lo yinochem. God does not relent or change his mind. And Genesis 6, 6 says, Vayinochem Hashem. God relented or changed his mind that he made the human being. And he has to wipe him out with the flood. A direct contradiction. Evelyn, help me here, please.
Well, you said before it was false tshuva.
Yeah, but the word, here it says, but Yehuda's saying, here it says, Lo yinachem, ki lo adam hu liyinachem. That God doesn't relent, he's not human to relent. And in Genesis 6, 6, it says, Vayinochem Hashem. God relented. How do they translate that?
Regretted.
God regretted that he made Adam on the earth. And it grieved him in his heart. Did they say that? It grieved him in his heart?
Yes.
Wow. So, actually, this question is actually asked by Rashi here. Rashi asked the question in Genesis 6, what do you mean God changed his mind and God grieved? Doesn't God know the future? Didn't God know that it's not going to turn out?
Yes.
So why is he grieved and changing his mind? He knows the future. He knows he's going to have to destroy them. So Rashi quotes a certain pagan asked this question, Shua bar Korcha. Right? God knows the future, so why is he upset and changing his mind? Rashi quotes the Midrash here. So he asked the great rabbi this question, Shua ben Korcha. So a Jew answers a question with what?
A question.
So he told the pagan or the heretic, did you ever have a child born to you? You have a baby born to you? He says, yeah, what did you do? He says, yeah, I made a big party, invited all my friends to celebrate the birth of my child. Rented a hall, a caterer. So he said to him, why did you do that for? Don't you know that in 100 years your child will be pushing up daisies? He'll be food for the worms. So why did you spend all of this money on a bar mitzvah or on a party? You know that in 100 years or 90 years, your baby, your child will be what? Pushing up daisies. Why did you spend all the money for? You hear what the rabbi asked the pagan, the heretic? Sam. So the pagan heretic. So the pagan heretic said to him what? So he said to him, didn't you know in the end he's going to die? Save your money. What are you celebrating? The birth of a child. He'll die anyway. Save your money. So the heretic told him, he quoted a pasuk in Koheles, in the time of joy, let there be joy. In the time of mourning, let there be mourning.
That's right.
So the rabbi said that's the way God conducts himself with the world. Even though he knew he was going to have to destroy them, but he had satisfaction before they became wicked, right? So he's still upset, kavayochel, even though he knew the outcome, right? When he has to do it, just like a parent knows that after 100 years or 90 years, the child has to, you know, like I had a child that was born sick, and we were very happy when he was born, even though we knew that he's not going to, but we were happy that we had a child. And then we mourned when we had to bury him. So, all I can tell you is that's the way God operates too. But the Torah does use the same word, Vayinochem, right? And it's used again, Yehuda, to make your kasha stronger. This verse is used again, Vayinochem, in the book of Exodus. When God wants to destroy the Jewish people after the golden calf, buddy, in this class you have to have nimble fingers. Limber up your finger. After the golden calf, I'll tell you where, after the golden calf, in Parshas Kisisa. In Parshas Kisisa, it's the same word. God wants to destroy the people. Moshe davens for them. And look what it says. The same word is used again. 1 minute. Let me find that for you. Exodus 32, verse 14. Elisheva, I'll wait. God wants to destroy the people. Exodus 32, 14. And Moshe begs him.
138.
Exodus 32, 14. Can you read out the page? What's the page number? 138, 14. Elisheva, take it away.
But Moses implored the Lord.
No.
Moses, where is it?
No, 14.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
At the end.
Remember? Okay, well, tell me what it starts with.
Vayinochem Hashem. It says the same word, Chanoch.
The Lord renounced his punishment he had planned to bring upon the people.
It says God regretted the evil that he wanted to do to his people.
Okay.
So again, here God says, I don't regret. The same word, Yehuda, V'lo Yinochem, and here it says Vayinochem. So Yehuda Lev has two Bamba Kashis. Vayinochem Hashem al hara.
So it seems like Samuel overstated his case.
No, what?
Seems like Samuel overstated his case because God does change.
Well, he's just speaking in the name of God. So sometimes he does and sometimes he doesn't. What? Right. So in this case, lo yinochem. But in other cases, he was. That God is influenced by our prayers. Isn't that incredible? that we have the awesome power, little old me, to sway God. That's just incredible. Avi, little old me, I can sway God's mind? Awesome, dude. Huh?
Yes.
Vayinochem Hashem al hara, asher diber lasas lamo. Right? Tzaddik goes there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekayim. Abraham, what does that mean? A tzaddik decrees, and God what? Carries out. And the other side of the memra, Kadosh Baruch Hu goes there, the tzaddik mevatel. God decrees, and a tzaddik can what? Overrule God. Awesome power, dude. We're his partner. So, Yehuda, that's the answer. Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. Over here, no, because God knew it wouldn't be good for the people or for Saul.
So,
It wouldn't be, what?
Father.
You can learn from who was doing the imploring, who was in each case. In one case it was Shaul, here it was Moshe, right?
Okay.
In the other case it was Abraham.
And no, the other case was God himself. God is talking to himself. No, you didn't look inside. It's but he brings the flood.
Oh, the flood.
Why he brings the flood? It says Vayinochem. I think it's Genesis 6, Sam. Genesis 6, right? No, it uses the word Vayinochem. Genesis 6, verse 6, Vayinochem Hashem. God regretted that he had to create the mensch. Now he has to what? Wipe him out with the flood. Okay? But anyway, so what happens here? Pasuk 30. So what does he say in Pasuk 30, Elisheva? We're back in the Haftorah. I have sinned. Now he's saying to the prophet, I have sinned. Please honor me in the presence of the elders of my people, presence of Israel. Return with me, and I shall bow to Hashem. So verse 31. So Samuel returned after Shaul, and Shaul worshipped Hashem. Now, remember, Abu Mamzer is still alive. The chief terrorist is still alive. Like Barghouti. In prison, they give him conjugal rights, and they give him college diplomas and interviews. The chief terrorist, Barghouti, he's still alive. Shoshana, current events. Samuel said, bring me Abu Mamzer, king of Amalek. Agag went to him in chains. You have that? Yehuda, verse 32. And Agag said, Arafat said, what does he say? Oivei?
Cheerfully, Agag said.
What did he say?
Cheerfully, surely the bitterness of death is past.
The bitterness of death is past. Oh, you're gonna let me live, but I'm your peace partner. Let's negotiate. I'm your peace partner. Huh? Let's negotiate. So what did Samuel say to him? The chief of staff should read this. Shoshana, Koinky Dinky, current events, the IDF chief of staff. Let's negotiate. Oh, the headlines in yesterday's Post. The chief of staff said, the IDF is going to hand over more authority to the terrorists. They're going to hand over more weapons to the terrorists. Hello, Avi. Koinky Dinky, yesterday's headlines in the Post. The IDF chief announced, we're going to give more weapons to the terrorists.
Why?
And won't go chase the terrorists into aid.
IDF chief of staff, read verse 33. Hello. I hope the IDF chief of staff Evelyn comes to shul this Shabbos. I hope so. I hope so. What does Samuel say to him?
Has made women childless, so shall your mother be childless among women.
Just as your terrorism made women childless, how many widows and orphans did you create, Arafat? So your mother will now be childless. And Samuel sliced up Agag before Hashem. He cut him up. Right? The old prophet Samuel went to Ramah, that's Ramoth, and Saul went up to his home, and they never met each other. Givat Shaul, I think you take the train there. Yehuda, Givat Shaul.
Please, we walk.
You walk to Givat Shaul, Kominky Dinky. You walk to Givat Shaul. That's just amazing.
Yeah, we did.
Current events.
That's current events, she did it to...
Current events. Mamish, Givat Shaul. You walked there. You didn't know we're going to learn this today. She just walked to Givat Shaul. Shelley, it's just amazing. It gets even better. Look at the maftir we're going to read to Shabbos morning. The maftir is in the book of what? Devarim. You have a Birmam Chomish, Deuteronomy 25. Devarim 25, Pasuk 17. Devarim 25, 17. 322. Remember, remember, remember. This is Shabbos, remember. Remember what Arafat did to you. Remember what Arafat did to you on the road. Now, who is Amalek today? What? Evelyn. There's an amazing Rashi. Who is Amalek today? Ashekarcha baderech. He met you on the road. You see verse 18? Says Rashi, Loshen Keri. John Balkari. Rashi says John Balkari and the Obama administration, that's Amalek. How did Rashi know 1,000 years ago? He says Kerry's name. Yehuda, it's unbelievable. Mikre, Loshen Keri v'tuma. The worst abomination is John Kerry and the Obama administration. Isn't that incredible? Now, Rashi Yudches, you got to look at Rashi. Rashi says Loshen Keri. That's the Balkari. But anyway, why should Amalek be destroyed? We've had Chanoch many enemies. Why Amalek destroyed? Rashi makes an amazing observation. After the splitting of the Red Sea, the Jewish people were on fire. Light my fire. The Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, all of our enemies melted. The UN and the EU, they were terrified. Amalek came and cooled us off. Says Rashi, an incredible mashal. A boiling hot bath that no person can go in there and remain alive. Comes Amalek and he jumps in. Even though he got third-degree burns, he cooled it off. What are you afraid of the Yidden? They bleed like anybody else. Says Rashi, what is Amalek? Amalek is willing to destroy his own life to kill Jews.
Jihad.
Do you know anybody like that? Oh, yeah. They're willing to destroy and burn themselves up if that's what it takes to kill Jews. Says Reb Chaim Soloveitchik over 100 years ago. Amalek is not a nation. It's any Gentile who hates you more than he loves his own life. You know anybody like that? I think it's Abu Mamzer and company. That's Amalek. Reb Chaim Soloveitchik over 100 years ago says it's not a particular biological nation. It's any Gentile whose hatred for Am Yisrael is stronger than the love of his own children.
Wow.
That's Amalek. These terrorists who stab Yidden and they get shot, you know what the mother says? I wish my other children would get killed if that's what it takes to kill a Yid. So Sam Rashi told us that Amalek is very much alive. Who are we negotiating with? Hello, IDF Chief of Staff. Who are you giving weapons to? Hello? Huh?
In Area A, but Rabbi...
Area A. It's lunacy. It's lunacy. Yehuda, I wish the chief of the IDF would go Shabbos morning and learn Rashi. I wish. Right? They knew they're going to get destroyed. Evelyn, can't help myself. Right? I can't help myself. I hate the Jew more than I love my own life. That's Amalek, says Rashi.
What about the Jews that work with them?
Unfortunately. J Street, right? Nebuch.
Pasuk 18, what's the first two words?
Pasuk Ashekarcha baderech. He met you on the road, or he cooled you off on the road. Cooled you off. You were hot. When you're hot, you're hot. No one dared mess with us at walked out the Red Sea on a winning streak. Amalek said, they're not so hot. I'll show you that they bleed like any person. I'm willing to kill myself to kill Yidden. So he called us on Abu Mamzer. Not him, but his minions. His minions, he sends them, what's it called, martyrs? They want the 72 virgins. Abraham, but what do the girls want? The girl terrorists, 72 boys? What do they want? No, Shoshana, really, what do the girl terrorists want? 72 men.
Why does it say Al Tishkach so many times in this passage?
Don't forget to hate them. It's not PC.
It repeats
right?
times. So
right?
Hashem thinks that you're going to forget.
Because I think that's right.
Good point.
Very good point. Lo tishkach. Repeat. Remember what they did. Right? It's not PC to hate. But again, if we think we're more merciful than God, that's why we're in the mess we're in. We created this Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Rabbi,
We created the Frankenstein.
flip side.
We gave them in 1994. The Robin government gave them weapons. 1994, the PA police. And what did they do with the weapons? They shot Israeli policemen. Their own comrades that they were smoking together a minute before shot them. And now they're giving them weapons again. Hello. You know what Einstein said, Yehuda? The definition of insanity is you do the same things over and over again, but you expect different results. And this is our leadership.
The flip side is that the leftists will say, they are not like that, and I will sacrifice my life
Right?
to support that they are not like that.
But normally a parent would give his own life to protect his own children. Here, the parents send their children to destroy themselves, and they give out candies because that's what it takes to kill a Jew.
They get money from the PA.
They get money from the PA. And where does the PA get the money from? The taxes that we collect for them. The taxes that we collect for them. Yehuda, hello? I mean, it's a mad magazine.
It's a form of insanity. We do the same thing over and
Right.
over and get the same result.
That's what he said.
Unbelievable. But the Torah warns us that if we don't destroy them, right?
So how come everybody forgets?
Lo tishkach. Shoshana said,
That's why.
right? Whoever shows mercy to the cruel, says the Talmud, will be cruel to the merciful. Right?
Right.
And therefore Sharon, right, was kind to the terrorists, and therefore he was so cruel to the Jews in Gush Katif. How could a leader destroy, make a pogrom against his own people? A pogrom, 9,000 Jews were expelled from their homes.
Still suffering.
Right?
Yes.
How could he show such cruelty to what? If you're kind to the cruel, you wind up being cruel to the kind. Thank you very much. Toda rabah.